สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to part 2 of my Thai grilled steak series. In part 1, we grilled a nice piece of steak with a Thai style marinade. Now in this part, we're going to turn that steak into a Thai style steak salad or ยำเนื้อย่าง Now if you missed part 1, not to worry, the link to part 1 is in the description of this video. Now for a Thai lesson, as per usual, yum is a particular style of Thai salad, which we'll talk more about in a little bit. Neua means beef and yang means to grill. So it's a pretty straightforward explanation. So let's get started. Let's start with our yum dressing. Now a yum is a kind of salad that specifies a certain dressing, and this dressing is, I've got 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Okay. And then I've got, that's our sour component. Now our salty component, I've got 1.5 tablespoons. Just kind of eyeball it, 1 tablespoon and then a little bit less of fish sauce. And then for sweet, 2 teaspoons of white sugar, just to balance out the the salty and the acid. And then finally, some chopped up Thai chilies, as much as you want. I'm using 2. And then we're gonna just stir until the sugar briefly dissolves. You don't have to worry about it too much because once you mix everything in, the sugar will finally dissolve by itself. So this right here is what we call nam yum or yum dressing. And then once you know how to make this, you can yum just about pretty much anything you want. So you've got that. Next are vegetables. I've got here about a third of an onion. You can use red onion, white onion, yellow onion. Here I happen to find Vidalia onions, which are incredibly sweet. So it's about 1/2 cup or so, julienned into pieces, like this. And then to that I've got about 3/4 cup of tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes, you can chop up big tomatoes into pieces, grape tomatoes, whatever tomatoes you want. And then this, I would normally use Chinese celery, but can't find Chinese celery in Montgomery, so I'm actually using the inside stalks of a regular celery where there's lots of leaves. The smell and the fragrance is very similar, and then the inside stalks are also thinner, similar to a Chinese celery. So about 1 cup of that, in that goes. And then finally our herbs. I've got some cilantro and green onions rough chopped, about 2 tablespoons of each. In that goes. And then just gonna mix it up briefly. Make sure you break up the onions so that the onions are not sticking together. Okay, and then we're going to go and cut the beef. Now the beef has been resting. Now I pulled this off the grill as you saw in part 1. The beef needs to rest for at least about 5 to 10 minutes until it's not hot anymore. And that's because if you cut it when it's fresh off the grill, when it's still hot, all the juice and everything will be squeezed out, and it needs to rest so the muscles are relaxed, so they're not anymore squeezing out the juice, and the juice will stay inside the beef. Now when you cut the beef, depending on what you choose, it's very important what direction you cut. I'm using a flank steak. You have to look at which direction the grains are running. This one, it's running long ways. It's not always the case. Sometimes a skirt steak, a bavette steak, the grains will actually run this way, in which case you will have to turn the steak and cut against the grain, because otherwise the muscle fibers will be really long and it'll be really chewy. Okay, so very thinly. Okay. That's perfect. So this steak is still a little bit pink in the middle, which is kind of what you want. You don't want to go too rare with flank steak. It's strangely chewy when it's rare. This is kind of medium. It's a little medium well. It's a little bit pink in the middle, still nice and juicy. The end bits are usually going to be a little more done than the thicker parts. In all that goes. And then we're going to just toss it up. It's really easy. Once you've got your steak, the actual salad is really nice and simple. You see the meat is still pink, beautifully medium. Okay. When you plate a steak salad, you always want to bring up a few pieces of meat just to just to show people that it's a steak salad. Bring up the nicer piece. And saved a little bit of peanuts for garnish. You don't need the peanuts, but I just think the nuttiness and the crunch actually balances out the whole flavor profile of the dish very well. And that's it. This is yum ner yang, or Thai style steak salad. Next up, I'm not done. I'm going to show you an Isan or northeastern style steak salad called ner yang nam tok. So let's go and take a look at that recipe in part 3.